Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? So today is a very interesting episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. I'm coming to you live from Tampa, Florida, here in my beautiful hotel room that I love, my beautiful Holiday Inn Express, my favorite hotel room. And as usual, I got up super early this morning, did my morning, routine, my gratitude, my goals, opened my hashtag Rise and Grind planner, which at the top of every page has a quote, right? Submitted by an actual Rise and Grind member. So I pop it open and the quote says this: life is, I didn't even remember this until just now. This is funny, dude. These quotes in this planner, it is crazy how on point they are. So today's quote says this. It was contributed by Pete Daly. And the quote says, life is all about how you handle plan B. The world is so ironic. And those of you that are just popping in are like, what is Glenn laughing about? Has he lost his mind? Life is all about how you handle plan B. So this is why that quote is so timely. The quote is so timely because this morning I brought all of my equipment as I always do. What's up, Nate Forrest? I said, love the new look. So look, all of my equipment is here. I can flip this around and I can show you, right? This is my iPad stand, which has Clubhouse on it. Here's my computer that I use for production. Here's the Rodecaster that I use, and obviously my Shure mic. I also use a blue mic that connects to the computer, right? So I set everything up last night. Before I went to bed, so I was ready for today's episode of Rise and Grind. Went to bed when I normally get to bed, got up this morning, did my gratitude, did my goals, read that quote. It's all about how you handle plan B. Read the quote, right? And then sat down to build out today's episode of Rise and Grind, push the power button on my computer, and let me show you what happens when I push the power button on my computer. Nothing. Nada. So then I looked, and guess what? No cord. I have no cord for my computer. And I searched everywhere, and my cord is not here. There is no cord for this laptop computer. So, with that said, today's episode of Rise and Grind, we have to go with Plan B, which Plan B is really back straight up roots using a cell phone to communicate the message that I have for you today. So there won't be any music. There won't be multiple camera angles. There will not be any type of B-roll, production, video, pictures. There will be none of that. What there will be is a full, real deal, heart-to-heart conversation between you and I. Have you ever done that? Have you ever gotten yourself in a position where you were so planned and so geeked up and like you were completely 100% ready, and then all of a sudden, boom, one thing happens, right? One thing happens and you have to shift. You have no choice but to shift to Plan B. Well, I know that my guess is you've probably experienced that many, many times in your life, right? Many, many times in your life. And what's great for me, in my experience now, at the point that I am in my life now, what's great for me is I now am at a point where it's like, dude, Plan B is going to be just as good, if not better, than Plan A. Right? It's the words that we choose to use. We could say, oh no, this is going to be devastating. This is going to be terrible. This is going to be awful. It's going to be the worst thing ever. I can't believe it. What am I going to do? I'm going to panic. I'm going to freak out. We can do that, right? Which sometimes we do. I know I have before. What about you, right? Sometimes we panic, or we take a deep breath and we go, all right, this is going to be the best thing ever. This is going to be better than Plan A, right? My guess is you've experienced that many a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dive right into today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. Today is Friday, April 23rd, 2021. That's right. Today is Friday, April 23rd, 2021. And what's crazy today is the very first and the very last time that it'll ever be Friday, April 23rd, 2021. So I want to make sure that we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. Fair enough? You and me, let's do it. Let's make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. So, like I said, I am live from Tampa, Florida. It is absolutely beautiful down here. The weather is perfect, a little bit crisp in the evening, a little bit cool in the mornings. I'm thinking, Liza, I'm thinking that I'm going to go out there and get a run this morning right along the ocean, right? There's just something about the ocean that's so incredibly electric. Now, I am just coming off of an Arizona trip last week, right? And so I was able to go home for one day. I went from Arizona home, saw my wife and kids for a day, boom, hop on a plane. Now I am in Tampa. So travel is really opening up all around the world. Travel is starting to happen all over the place, which is crazy. I don't know about you. Go ahead and drop it in the comments. Like, have you, I'll send a pic. Yes, Liza. Drop a comment like, have you started traveling yet? Or have you planned your next trip yet? Have you thought, okay, it's time for me to get out and it's time for me to get going? I know our friend David Hill is in Hawaii right now. I know Bill Hauser was just in Hawaii. He just got married over there. But what about you? Have you planned that next vacation, that next trip, that next journey? And are you the type of person that likes to go on trips, that likes to go on journeys? Because not everybody does, right? And so I'm just curious if you're doing any traveling lately. So go ahead and drop that in there. But I got to tell you, I love it, right? Natalie says she's planning an international trip. Douglas says O'Hare's been seeing more traffic. Mike Stevens said somebody hacked him. Okay, all right, Mike, sorry about that. Listen, I love traveling. Scott will be in Florida next week. That's awesome. What's interesting is my wife does not. My wife does not love traveling at all. Like, she has zero interest in traveling, actually. If my wife had things her way, we would have our home, right? We have our home, we have our 10 acres, we have our pond. We would expand that out to maybe 40 or 50 acres, really, is what she would want. And then all of the kids, as they grew up, they would ultimately, like, never leave the house. We would be self-sufficient. We would live off of the land, right? And the kids would grow up, they would get married, and they would bring in their wives, and they would build a little house on the homestead, right? Like, far enough to where they're out of eye shot, but close enough to where my wife could jump on a golf cart or a four-wheeler and cruise over. Like, that's the way my wife would love to live. If she could get away with never leaving the house to go anywhere, she would totally be okay with that. Like, little house on the prairie type stuff. Like, that's how she's built. We are completely opposite in that sense. Like, I've got to roll. I love flying. I think it's an incredible experience. I love, like, all of the unknowns that come with travel, going to new places, meeting new people, having new experiences, challenging our minds and our thought processes, being around people that don't look like me, don't think like me, don't talk like me, don't believe the same things that I believe, right? Like, I love all of those things. The whole world being at our fingertips, to me, is absolutely fascinating. It is invigorating to me. I love to travel, and I see the same in my daughter Savannah. Savannah loves to travel. I took her to New York City when she was like 8 years old, I guess. She was 8 years old, dude, and she lit up. She had her New York clothes on. She was walking the streets like she had grown up in New York City. Like, she loves it. And she tells me all the time, Dad, we're going to France. Dad, we're going to Egypt. Dad, we're going to the banks of the Mississippi, right? Like, my daughter Savannah has got the bug just like I do. She absolutely loves to travel. Now, my son Joel, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. Like, he couldn't care less about traveling. Give him some chores. Like, my son loves chores. He's like, Dad, is there any other chores I can do for you today? It's insane, right? My son loves to work. That's what he loves to do. He loves his chores. You give him some chores, you give him some cows, you give him some ducks, you give him a fishing pole, you give him a hunting knife, and his soul shines. just like Savannah's soul did when she stepped into the electric New York City, right? They're so completely different, which is interesting, right? If you think about it, they have the same parents. They're growing up in the exact same environment. They have the same upbringing, yet they're uniquely different. Somebody's got a hot mic in Clubhouse. You got to kill that hot mic. Where's it at? There it is. All right, cool. Thank you. Right? Same upbringing, and yet they are uniquely different. Each of them with their own soul's code. They have a special set of characteristics that motivate them. Special set of characteristics that inspire them, that influence them to make certain choices with their words, their perception of the world, their daily decisions. All of these things that will ultimately determine the course and the quality of their lives forevermore. It all comes from their soul's code. To me, it's truly beautiful. I don't know about you, the differences and the uniqueness of them. It's beautiful, and I can't help but believe. What's up, Adam Aarons? Great to see you. I can't help but believe that it's divine. That there is some intentionality behind it, right? What else would explain it? How can they grow up in the exact same environment with the exact same parents and yet each be so unique and at the same time each be so significant, right? Each of them are on their own journey of self-discovery. Savannah's journey has it's completely different than Joel's journey, and we can already see that. They're only 11 and 9 years old, and Willow's journey is different than the rest of them. Meredith's completely different from there. Fisher, oh my gosh, that kid is good looking, dude. I'm just telling you. I know it's my boy, but golly, Fisher, every time I look at him, I'm like, this dude. I told my wife the other day, I said, I hope he doesn't end up dumb. My wife was like, what are you talking about? He's a really smart boy. I'm like, I know, but he's so dang good looking, right? Like he can get away with just that. I hope he doesn't take advantage of that, right? Because he's just a handsome kid, but he's so different in Oakland, so uniquely different. Same parents, same environment. There has to be some intentionality behind it. There has to be an individual soul's code. That's the only thing that makes sense. Otherwise, they would just come stamped out the same, right? They would think like dad, walk like dad, think like mom, walk like mom. But they don't. They're unique, just like you. Tina Bacon, Scott Simons, Tisha White, Irina Currington, Janie Thomas, Dr. Sean, my man Nate Forrest. I'm glad you're here with us this morning, Nate. Ricole Barrett, John Paul Guidry, Joy, Giuseppe, Liza, all unique, intentionally, by design. So my question for you this morning is, what is your soul's code? Do you know it yet? Do you know your soul's code? Like, can you answer that question? Somebody walks up to you and says, what is the code to your soul? What is the 4-digit, right? Or 6-digit or 8 digits things that we got to touch and push that ultimately light you up? That bring you to your highest frequency, your strongest vibration. What is the code? What is the sequence of events that once put together bring you to that spot where you walk out and say, I am exactly where I am supposed to be, doing exactly what I am called to do? Have you discovered that yet? Do you know your soul's code? Like, have you determined what that looks like for you? Your purpose, your life's work, your totally fascinating biography story. Do you know what that's going to be? You know, it's interesting when I study success, I study successful people, you'll notice that some people find it so early, like in life, right? Like there are famous people who just couldn't help but they were playing instruments when they were like 2 years old, right? Musicians that could sing and could wail and had pipes, and they just knew like this is the thing. When I sing, Darian on our Darian Sanders over here on Clubhouse, he's not there right now. He's working at Starbucks, but Darian's just always known that that's a part of his soul's code. When he sings, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how often he does it. It doesn't matter how little hours of sleep he has to get to show up. It doesn't matter. He knows that part of his soul's code is that his voice is used to impact others. He knows that. Do you know your life's work? Do you know your totally fascinating biography story? Or do you not? Whether you answer that question yes or you answer that question no, I want you to stay tuned because I'm about to blow your mind, all right? I'm about to blow your mind. Before I do, normally this would be the part of the show where we dance. And for those of you on Clubhouse, y'all can hear some music, right? This is the first time that Clubhouse is like getting full production and Facebook's getting the rah stuff, right? So maybe in your head, you could play the Rise and Grind song because that's what's playing right now. And you could get that body in motion because it's still an important part of the show. Even if we don't have the full production as usual. And you guys are probably looking at me like, why is Glenn dancing around? It's because I can hear it, right? But maybe you can hear it too. Use your imagination. You've heard the song 100 times before. You know it, right? So just play it in your head right now. Hashtag Rise and Grind, right? You can do it, all right? And for those of you on Clubhouse, congratulations. You've got the full production. So this is the part of the show where we dance a little bit. This is also the part of the show where I say good morning to you and you say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live, you're watching on replay, maybe you're catching the podcast, maybe you're over on YouTube, whatever it is, say what's up, I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Irina? Great to see you. Tisha White, there you go, girl. Just sing it in your head. How you doing, Janice Mullings? How you doing, Scott Holbert? We got Mary Shernati is up in here. Mrs. Tina Bacon is up in the house. What's up, Joel Tomlinson? He said he can hear the music. Can you guys hear it a little bit? Oh, I didn't think about that. Somebody had said put the headphones on the phone earlier, but I didn't think about putting the headphones like to the microphone. What about that? Can you guys hear that? What's up, Carol Hamilton? How you doing, Mr. Mike Hayden? What's up, April Johnson? She started dancing. Maybe she can hear. What's up, Jim Tursky? Oh, but then that was probably feedback for the Clubhouse people. Sorry about that. My bad. What's up, Sean Galler? And then we got Stephanie Sterling up in the house this morning. What's up, Melvin Rodriguez? Good to see you as well. I also see Helen Lane is up in the house, Mr. Brad Smith. And, of course, over on Clubhouse, we got Dahlia up in the house. How you doing, Dahlia Friedman? Great to see you. We got Benja Fagerland is up in here. What's up, Benja? Great to see you as well. I got Kurtron Mackey. What's up, Kurtron? Appreciate you sharing the stage with us today. How you doing, Laura Barnard, yeah. Laura Bernard, pleasure to see you. What's up, Carolyn Delucia? How you doing, Dr. Rose Schmidt? Great to see you as well. I also see my man Brian Hess just popped back in the room. What's up, Evan? How you doing, Kevin? How you doing, Douglas and Steve and Gregory? I see Carlos is up in here. The Blind Master, haven't seen him in a while. How you doing, sir? What's up, Aaron? How you doing, Johnny Morney? Great to see you, Johnny. Always a pleasure to have you join us. I see Kyle's up in here too. What's up, Kyle Monsieur? Great to see you, sir. How you doing, Hippie, up in here this morning? Danil and Soul. I see Vanessa is joining us, as well as Lolita, Lynn, Melissa, Rochelle. We got Rodney up in the house this morning. What's up, Rodney? Great to see you. Hi, Natalie Nicole. I see you, Natalie. And Sean Jones is up in here this morning. What's up, Kim Fair? All right, good. Hey, in case you guys didn't know, what's up, Bruce Pulver? Great to see you, sir. In case you guys didn't know, yeah, just a phone for Facebook, Mr. Guthrie. So, in case you didn't know, we have released the Breakfast with Champions t-shirts. Breakfast with Champions t-shirts. You can go pre-order yours right now. breakfastwithchampions.live. breakfastwithchampions.live. Get you a Breakfast with Champions t-shirt. You're going to love it. Stinking amazing. All right? Fair enough. Okay. There we go. Listen, this week This past week, we've been studying. Thanks, Guidey Rodriguez. I appreciate that. This past week, we've been studying a book called The Soul's Code by James Hillman. Now, this book goes really, really deep. This book talks about the acorn theory, which the acorn theory is that you have a blueprint. There was this seed that was planted in you that had the blueprint of your life, your purpose, your reason. And what was fascinating is that before you were born, per this book, before you were born, you actually chose the circumstances that would make up your life. You chose your parents based on what you needed to get from each of them. You chose the path, you chose the ups, you chose the downs, you chose the biography, right? You chose with partnership, in a partnership with God. You chose. And that blueprint was planted on the seed in you. It was planted on your soul, right? It was etched into your soul, that blueprint. The problem was when you were born, the trauma of birth caused you to forget the blueprint. Your soul knows the blueprint. You physically do not necessarily. You feel it. You're connected with it. You know it's there. You feel the tugs. You feel the pulls. You try to understand it. But you don't have 100% clarity on every single step of the blueprint, but your soul does. That's the acorn theory, right? And in the Soul's Code, it gets really, really deep. It talks about growing down, how important it is that we create solid foundations, that we allow our roots, our gifts, and our talents to not just reach out, not just try to reach out with those, but to let them grow down, to grow deep, right? To put in the 10,000 hours, the disciplines, the behind the scenes, to really let the roots of our seeds, right, of our acorn seed, go down as far as they can and gather as much space and time and water and nutrients as humanly possible, right? It talks about growing down, really getting deep rooted into who you are, allowing those roots to thrive, right? It also digs into the parental fallacy, is what it calls it. The parental fallacy. And the parental fallacy is this, like letting go of this idea that you had no choice in who your parents were, and instead taking responsibility and saying, okay, I chose these parents for a reason. And even though there's some good and even though there's some bad, the good and the bad were ultimately required as part of my soul's code in order for my seed, my blueprint, to come to reality. You see, it's talking about a shift of perception here, saying, okay, what my parents did bad for me was good. Make sense? You're going from victim to victor. It's very, very, very interesting, right? It's very, very, very belief. Michael Guthrie, and just don't believe it. God created my soul. Yes, 100%. I agree. God created my soul too. Michael Guthrie, 100%. We're talking about a book here, buddy. All right. So, the parental fallacy, letting go of this idea that you had no choice in who your parents would be, right? And that way you're not a victim to that. You're actually a victor. Now, it also discusses that to be is to be perceived. Interesting, right? To be is to be perceived. That we can't necessarily see our purpose and who we are. It takes somebody on the outside to be able to give us that perspective. We've all had that person, right? I'm assuming you have. Just think about it. The people in your life that breathed life into you. Like, what if people told you, oh, you're great at this. You're a great leader. You're a great listener. You're a great inspirer. You're a friend collector, like my friend Joy, right? The things that people breathe into you from the outside, because we can't see ourselves as well as people from the outside can see us. And so it talks about how who we become is to be perceived by outside perspectives. This isn't a journey we go on alone. This is something we do together, right? It also covers accidents and fate. It covers bad seeds, and it covers the trap of mediocrity, right? Like this book, The Soul's Code, it covers a lot of incredibly deep things and different perspectives and different ideas and different ways of looking at life, right? So that we can expand our minds so that we can continue to grow and develop into our purpose. Like this book covers a lot of these things. However, here's the interesting part. Even though you know that, most of you won't read it. Why not? Why wouldn't you read a book that could help you get clarity? Why wouldn't you read a book that is different and outside the box of what you currently know and understand? Why wouldn't you read a book that could maybe have an idea or a concept or unlock a part of your soul that you had not been able to previously unlock? Why would you not read it? Think about that for a second. I'm going to give you the answer. And this is the part that might blow your mind. You might not read this book because you're not me. You're in a different season of life than I am. You're on a different path in life than I am. You are experiencing life differently than I am. You see, different books will impact different people in different ways at different times. You see, the overall message in the Soul's Code is this. This is the overall message in this really hard to read, really, really awesome book. The overall message is this. The more that you can learn to accept the fact that your life has purpose, your setbacks are your steps up. The gifts that you have were hand-selected. That you are unique in every single way, mind, body, and spirit. And most importantly, that nothing in your life is left to chance. Everything is attached to choice. You choose wealth and abundance. You choose to be loved and adored. You choose to be calm, to be patient, to be active, to be engaged, to be fit, to be healthy, to be inspiring, to be motivating, to be powerful, to be strong, to be impactful, to be creative. Whatever you want, you choose. Just choose wisely. Because see, you are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And because of that, you are powerful beyond measure. You are most likely going to get in life exactly what you ask for. So have you asked? That's the real message in the Soul's Code. You have a choice in every single thing about you. The things that make you unique, the things that make you different, the accidents in your life, the experiences that you go through, the positives, the negatives, the highs, and the lows. They all make up your unique Soul's Code, one that leads you to being a victor and not a victim. So listen, my friends, continue to learn more about yourself. Continue to experience your journey. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing and figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing. Because I need you to understand something. We rise together. Ubuntu. I am because you are. So I need you to become the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Not an average version, not a little bit below average, not a little bit above, the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And that's going to take some choices on your part, right? It's going to take some choices on your part to expand, to grow, to develop from who you are to who you can be. Listen, friends, I absolutely love you. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. Thanks for bearing with me today as far as production and so on and so forth. I hope you found value in that. If you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. We got plenty of them up there. I hope you enjoy your weekend. If you want to come hang out on Clubhouse, please come hang out on Clubhouse. We're going to be over there chatting and talking and diving deeper into all of this. But know this. Hi, Melissa Thompson. Oh, great to see you. Oh my gosh. Makes me cry every time I want to. Like, you are amazing. I love you. Great to see you, Melissa. All right, listen, you can go hang out with me on Clubhouse if you want. Go about your day, step into your greatness, all right? Step into your greatness, and then come back here again, 5:30 a.m. on Monday, and we'll do it all over again, all right? See you guys. Have an incredible day. No outro music. And well, for Clubhouse I can. There we go. Clubhouse got the outro music. For those of you right here on Facebook, look, I just touched my mouse on my computer to shut it out. But the computer ain't working, Lundy. Hey, look, it don't matter how many times you touch it. The computer ain't working. You can sit here and type. You can do all that. It ain't going to do nothing, bro. You ain't got no power cord, brother. You ain't got no power cord. It's all on your phone. All right. Adam Arians, great to see you, my man. Again, great to see you. Joel Tomlinson, great to see you as well. Scott Holbert, Amy Kennedy, Julio Soto from Puerto Rico. Love you. Julie Lentini, Wendy Reeves is up in here. Listen, you guys have an incredible day, all right? I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Peace.